I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage. And like, I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth and into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet. And I'm penny pinching every single second. And like, there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like, I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like, no safety nets.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something real, the American's dream. People say if they work hard in America, you will live a good life. But let's be honest, that's not the truth for everyone. Many people are struggling. Rent is high, job don't pay enough, healthcare is expensive, and people are tired. The dream feels broken, especially for Black people, immigrants, and poor families. Let's talk about it. Do you think American's dream doesn't work anymore? Drop your opinion. Don't forget to share and like the video.
You're not struggling because you're poor. You're struggling because you live in the USA. You're struggling because prices have gone up tremendously, but the wages haven't. You're struggling because your bills continue to increase, but your wages haven't. You're struggling because you have greedy, corrupt CEOs of companies that are continuing to record record profits but are refusing to pay their workers a livable wage. You're struggling because the country that prints money won't give that money back to its people. You're struggling because the country that is in $37 trillion and counting worth of debt somehow finds a way to give billions of dollars to fund new wars but won't find any money to fund the poor. You're struggling because this country is stealing 30 to 40% of your income, if not more. You're struggling because after this country wrongfully took 30 to 40% of your income, they're telling you to pay more during tax season. You're struggling because homes that used to cost $150,000 to $200,000 10 to 15 years ago are now costing $400,000 if not $500,000. You're struggling because those starter homes that used to be seen as affordable are now being bought by large corporations. You're struggling because rent was under $1,000 10 to 15 years ago is now costing almost $3,000 for a one bedroom. You're struggling because these greedy landlords continue to increase the rent. You're struggling because a $100 grocery bill 10 to 15 years ago will get you a huge haul, will now only get you a few things in 2025. You're struggling because the gas that you used to fill up your car used to be $1 and some change per gallon is now almost $4 a gallon. You're struggling because the cost of having a good time and living life has gone up tremendously. An airplane ticket used to be $200 round trip is now $400 one way. It used to cost under $1,000 to enjoy a vacation. Now it's costing almost $3,000 to $4,000 depending on where you go. You're struggling because you're forced to get a second job just to make ends meet as things continue to skyrocket. You're struggling because the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the American nightmare.
So I don't know if anyone has noticed yet, but America is getting super expensive to live in. Prices that were once maybe under $200,000 for a house are now in the mid $400,000 to $600,000 range. And I've also noticed that wages aren't going up. The wages are sticking to the same amount. You still have people out here who are getting paid less than $15 an hour. It's going to get to the point to where unless you're rich, you're not going to be able to afford in a house in America unless you get like some type of life insurance policy on your folks, or you get somebody to leave you some type of trust fund. if you're coming out of this new generation, you're not going to be able to buy a house. Your children are not going to be able to purchase a home. It's getting to the point to where things are just, the prices are getting outrageous. I just looked online and it's $18 at some restaurants for a hamburger. McDonald's no longer has a dollar menu. This is not the same America that we grew up in, to where people could achieve the American dream. Things are completely overpriced. Nothing's affordable. Groceries are through the roof. If you're renting something, rent prices are through the roof. Mortgage rates are at extreme all-time highs. It's going to get to the point to where nobody's going to be able to afford to live in a house in America. You're just going to have a lot of houses that are for sale that nobody's going to be purchasing.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me. Why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning, all right? So we struggled and it was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point, all right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour. And I can afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on, and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college, or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month? Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then I told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25 and his car insurance went up $150. I tell him, if you need health insurance, get a good job. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to emergency room twice. He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had. Right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead. And then my daughter, I told her all you have to do, because she wanted to buy her own house. My daughter worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to save up enough for this down payment. Finally got this house. She's paying double what I'm paying for my mortgage, but her loan was the same amount. And then her mortgage company, after she's already moved in, said, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you that you need this type of coverage, which we forgot in the beginning. That's an extra $200 you've been paying a month. And all they see when they come home is they watch social media, kids their age, on lavish vacations with all this money and nothing to do, all these social media influencers, because we value those types of things over hard workers. We will pay them $10,000, but you'll work 40 hours a week, you can't afford it.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of the United States. It's so ghetto, and every day gets a little bit harder to function. I'm talking about, I don't understand how I am struggling in these United States and I make decent money. I don't do anything. I don't have debt. I put myself through school. Again, I put myself through school, and I owe the IRS every year. I own my own home. My car is paid off. I don't go out. I don't have friends. I'm a loner. There's a few people I talk to. I don't understand. Like, I have no debt. There's no debt I have, you guys. I don't owe anybody. Like, I'm just trying to understand, how am I struggling? I make decent money. I put money to the side for retirement, and then everything else is for bills. Like, how am I struggling? Like, I live below my means. Like, I stopped buying clothes. I stopped buying shoes and all of these fancy things. I don't go out. I don't purchase unnecessary items. Like, I am no longer a consumer, because when I was a consumer, it did me no good. Like, I have all of these things and nothing to show for it, right? So I stopped buying things, right? And I'm trying to understand, how am I struggling? When I was buying things, I felt like I was doing good. And now that I'm not buying things, I feel like I'm struggling. Like, how does this work in these United States? Like, I don't understand. Like, I live below my means. The only expense I would say I would have is I do my own hair, and I go get my nails and my feet done every 2 weeks, right? That's it. I'm trying to understand how my grocery bill goes from $400 a month to $1,000 a month. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how my electric bill goes from $155 to $800 in 1 month. No past due balance. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how my internet goes from $75 to $140. And that is the lowest plan. I don't understand. I'm just not... I'm not processing these United States. And I make decent money, okay? I make decent money. And I saw a video today where a girl said that she makes $100,000 a year. And after taxes, she brings home about $70,000. And she's struggling. And I'm like, baby, if you're struggling, then I'm poor.
Listen, if you still want to come to America because you believe in the American dream, let me tell you something. That dream died like 30 plus years ago, and now we're living in a dream that involves paying $10 for a dozen of shitty fucking eggs, paying $2,000 a month for an apartment in the ghetto that's about 700 square feet and it has no walls. And then if you want to go to university here, you're looking at around $100,000 for a 4-year education. That's on the low end. But in those 4 years, you might get shot because everyone seems to want to shoot each other for some ungodly reason. Then you're going to graduate thinking, oh, I graduated, I have a degree now, I'm going to get a good job. Your good job is going to pay you about $40,000 starting off, maybe, and then they're going to say you're going to work 40 hours a week, when in reality you're going to be working about 50 plus hours a week, because they're going to guilt trip you in by saying, we're a family, we're a team, we help each other. And they're not going to pay you overtime for that, because why would they? If they get your help for free, why would they pay you for that? Okay, then there's no work-life balance. That company you're working for now doesn't want to give you vacation days until like maybe your 2nd year working there, and those vacation days are maybe 4 days out of the whole entire year. That includes holidays. All right, then if you're sick, too bad, you still have to come to work. Okay, then if you want to buy groceries, your groceries are going to be your whole entire paycheck, because no one can afford to eat here anymore. God, I go to the grocery store for 4 things, it's like 50 bucks. I'm just saying it sucks living here. I don't want to live here. I want to leave. So maybe you should rethink your whole American dream, because it's not what it's all cracked up to be. Okay? Okay, love you. Bye.
The American dream. What is that? Whatever it is and whatever it used to be is now dead. There is no American dream. The American dream used to be, you were young, you got a job. College or no college, you got a job, you started working. You saved up money. You found somebody, bought a house or built a house, had a couple kids, had a little piece of property. The problem is now, today, that's unattainable. You can't get that. So 99% of people now live in apartments because you can't buy a house. You can't own a home and have a family and support your family on one income. Back then, like in 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, usually the husband or the father worked. Mother stayed home with the kids. That's not even a thing anymore. Now two people got to work. And if you don't, it's not easy. It's a struggle. But the American dream is dead. Unfortunately, that's not a thing anymore. All we can do now is just try to get into one day to the next, and kind of hope for the best, and just get up, go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep. And that's it. That's the American dream.
So here is the truth. The American dream was never built for all of us. It was sold like a promise. But for many, especially Black people, poor people, and immigrants, it's just struggle after struggle. We are told to work hard, stay quiet, and be patient. Rent is going up, wages stay low, healthcare is a luxury, education puts people in debt. People are working full-time and still can't survive. That's not a dream, that's a trap. And the ones in power, they don't care. They protect the rich and leave the rest behind. So when we say the American dream is dead, it's not just word, it's the reality. Millions are living every day, but we are not just here to complain. We are here to wake people up. So if this message hits you, if you are tired of pretending everything is okay, like this video, drop a comment, share it, and subscribe. Let's build a community that speaks truth, call out injustice, and pushes for real change. The dream might be dead, but the fight is not. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.